You've grown Omnisend to 50 million ARR, annual recurring revenue, without raising any money. That's for sure in the top 0.01%.
Internally, we call it being customer funded. Our customers, they pay us month over month. So each month they make a decision. If they believe that Omnisend gonna create value, it makes ourselves, the entire team, customer centric. Our salaries will be paid by them.
I love that.
With over a decade of experience in digital marketing, e-commerce, and bootstrapping startups, Rytis has successfully grown Omnisend to $50 million ARR without any outside investment. His mission is simple: to challenge the notion that great marketing must be costly.
If we take a population of billions of people, they are super outliers.
Here's another way to think about it. I heard someone say this once. If you want to do something innovative, restrict resources, restrict time, and restrict money.
Going your own path, making your own mistakes, and point the success will come.
I think it boils down to this. Rytis, it's so good to have you on the show. First of all, before we start, I would personally like to thank you because this is the first time you're coming on our show as the first sponsor of the Shopify 1% podcast. And I just want to give a bit of background to listeners. I know sometimes we mention this in the show notes, and actually a lot of our listeners use Omnisend. I was talking to someone a couple of weeks ago and they told me they installed it because they heard it on the show and they loved it. And so I've used Omnisend for, I don't even know how long, probably 7 years. So I manage a few stores, some family members. We use Omnisend on all of them. And when we decided that we wanted to have a few sponsors on the show, not a ton, but handpick a few, Omnisend was the first phone call I made, because the way I wanted to approach it was I wanted to only allow sponsors of products I use.
Perfect.
That's just kind of a personal thing, but it's not necessarily about money for the sponsorship. That helps pay for all of the hosting and everything else, but it's products that I believe in. So Omnisend is one of my favorite email and SMS tools. And so it's such an honor to have you on the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay, for such a kind words, welcoming words, and as well as welcoming us, inviting us to become a sponsor. And of course, as we know each other for quite many years, so since the very beginning, early days on Shopify, Bold was an inspiration for us as well. But okay, we can build things, and Omnisend was really, really early days startup, and so really thank you for your kind words, and really great to know you.
It's fun. It's people like you, I think, make the ecosystem of partners better. And for those that don't know, so Bold, we've started building with Shopify in 2012. When did Omnisend officially launch?
2014? Yeah. So initially, Shopify was probably second or third integration we made. So it was maybe mid 2014 or end of 2014 when we started with
Crazy.
Shopify.
So both of us are over 10 years in the space. And it, if you're listening right now and you just started building on Shopify in the last 2 years, you have no idea what it was like 12 years ago. It was a very, very different space, just from number of merchants to what was even possible to do on Shopify. So Rytis and I have both seen a lot. And anyways,
it used to be big Shopify Unite events, which I miss them, to be honest. Not sure about you. So additions, more for developers, this new event. But I kind of miss those massive Unite events when different kind of representatives and merchants alongside gathering together, talking about all things Shopify, about e-commerce in general.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of one of the, I understand COVID kind of, they tried to make it virtual, but that's what they missed from early days.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And hopefully that comes back, because that was definitely a good thing. So there's a lot that we can get into on this show. You're the founder and CEO of Omnisend, which is my preferred email and SMS solution by far for Shopify. So I definitely want to pick your brain on, some marketing and email and SMS strategies. But just because I know that almost all of our listeners are also founders, they're also started companies, I want to dig into a little bit into your story. I think it's pretty inspirational, and you've grown an amazing company. So I want to talk a bit about that, and then definitely pick your brain a little bit on some advice for some of our listeners. So Can we start at the beginning. Like, what was going back before Omnisend? Tell me the story of how Omnisend came to be.
So maybe we'll not start like super early days, but Omnisend is my third startup attempt. I failed twice prior to Omnisend, and it was a spin-off as well from digital marketing agencies. So after second failure, I got back to more traditional kind of business. So basically used to run digital marketing agency, building websites, online stores, Facebook apps. It used to be
That's
back
right.
in the days, super popular. Yeah, they used to have like different applications on Facebook, etc., and running some marketing campaigns on behalf of customers as well. It was not even the core of our business, but that's how we spotted the opportunity of email marketing back in the days for those who sell online, for online merchants specifically. And so kind of like, and I started my first business being 20. Okay, I did not start. I was invited to join. And I was a smaller co-founder. We were two, but just the person I knew from my secondary school just gave me a call. I said, look, I have an idea. What do you think about, starting a business? I said, okay, let's do it. It sounds fun. I'm going to be, businessman, business owner.
Yeah. Make business cards.
Yeah. So, many lessons learned since then. But that's a nice journey. I truly believe that, it's because there are those success stories that, someone starts a very successful company being 18, but those are super rare. I mean, we hear about them so much, but if we take the population of billions of people, it's like they are super outliers. But I believe like just, in going your own path, making your own mistakes, learning your own lessons, and at some point the success will come.
Well, you've certainly seen success, I feel, with Omnisend, and I know you don't share everything, but some numbers you've shared publicly that I know you're okay with. And so you've bootstrapped Omnisend, first of all, which for those listening means you didn't raise money, which almost everyone these days has an idea, builds a little proof of concept, and then goes out and tries to raise a few $1 million to build the idea. You built it all without raising any money. And you've grown on Omnisend to 50 million ARR, annual recurring revenue, which I don't know for sure, but that's for sure in the top 1%. I bet that's in the top 0.01% of Shopify apps that are doing. I guarantee that's in the top 0.1%. And then if you said what companies are doing that level of revenue that are bootstrapped, I don't know of another one. I can't think. I know, like Judge Me and some of these others are they're in that same category, but their numbers are quite a bit less. They're extremely successful, and I know PJ well, and but I mean, what you've done is absolutely incredible. Of course. Well, tell me, why did you decide to bootstrap? Why didn't you raise money?
I tried. Well, we tried. I'm co-founder. We are two founders. So we tried to raise, and then this is kind of a story that I'm vocal about. But, back in the days, once we launched 11 years ago, Omnisend, and start fundraising, everybody was, you're going to do what? Email? Come on. I sometimes felt like I'm pitching a leather shoes and trying to convince investors that this is an innovation, I'm going to be making an email marketing solution, something similar as like MailChimp back in the days.
So did they think like email was done? It was
exactly.
Like, who needs another email solution? This was 11 years ago.
Done deal. It was like super like conversational commerce was a big buzzword.
I remember
back in the days. Yeah. And like chats, etc. So yeah, people will be, advertised and retained through chats, Messenger, WhatsApp, or whatever else is in the market, etc. And conversation commerce, people will stop going to websites to browse online stores. They will just ask a product, etc. And that's okay. I mean, this is how the true innovation happens, But we kind of like believe that those who sell online, email is highly effective channel, and this will remain, and that remain the same because this is the inbox. Actually, you as a consumer, you're in the full control of the inbox. So you subscribe to, let's say, bold newsletters, etc. And of course, nobody reads each and every one newsletter. but just, the subject lines, the context around you. If you are super busy today, you just ignore, but maybe the next you will see it after 1 week, you will open and you will engage and you will purchase, etc. So we kind of strongly believed, and we failed in fundraising. So, we raised a little bit from early business angels. So we have no institution.
Friends and family. And that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's 3 F's, fools, friends, and family. So
fools, I love that.
Or maybe friends, family, and fools, etc.
Yeah.
So we raised, in this category, all 3 F's. But we were lucky enough to become profitable soon enough to pay off, as it was in the format of convertible notes, convertible bonds, and we just basically paid back as debt with interest. That's it. Yeah, so that was kind of organic decision. And after that, we just felt in love with bootstrapping and not fundraising. And furthermore, internally, we call it being customer funded. That's the term that I love more than bootstrapping, because, our customers, they pay us month over month, and each month we make a decision, and they pay us in advance for 1 month. So each month they make a decision if they believe that Omnisend going to create value in upcoming month and pay their bills off, basically. If they, some of customers sometimes lose this trust and then they churn. So it really kind of, makes ourselves, the entire team, engineers, marketers, support people, etc., just really, really to be customer-centric and focus on customer needs, because we all understand that, our salaries will be paid by the customers who today make a decision if they still believe in Omnisend, if we still create value for them. So this is how we, fund our growth as well.
You're basically validating product and validating what you're building every step of the way versus raising $10 million. We see some slight product market fit in this one area, and now we're going all in, and then it doesn't work. And I can't hear that every single day with some startups, but you, month by month, were validating what you were building. Otherwise you would have micro pivots, right? You're not sending the plane across the globe. It's every month adjusting. I love
going
that.
by car, those bumpy roads. Those bumpy roads. So this is kind of a mindset. And then, after some years, we really felt in love with this mindset and with this concept, and continue doing this. And as it's stated in your background, just trying to be 1% better every day. It's not that much per day, but it really compounds per year, per 10 years, etc. So this is kind of our philosophy. And now that the fact that we are customer funded, it's even probably the first, maybe the second statement in our values and culture deck. So it's now really embedded into the entire philosophy and the mindset of the entire Omnisend crew.
That's so good. I respect that so much. We just at Bold, we were very similar. We did end up eventually raising money in 2019, but from 2012, we, part of it was because we're in the middle of the prairies in Canada. There is not a lot of investment. There's fools and friends and family, but that's it. There's not the large VC community. And so we didn't even think about raising money. We just thought, okay, how can we, work at our jobs as long as possible, build this idea, get the idea going. And then literally each month, we would look at, can we hire a person? No. Okay. Next month. No. Okay. We can hire a person, work for a couple months. Oh, we can hire 2 people now. And it was, so we would always say we hired behind growth, where a lot of people hire in front of growth. And we grew the company that way for 7 years to 2019. I think we were around 200 people, and it without raising a penny. And then we started getting investors knocking on our door, wanting to fuel what we were doing. And the reason we said yes was, we viewed it as not using the money to start a fire, but using it to fuel the fire, right? And so, because we had kind of figured out what was working, but I have a ton of respect for that, and it's amazing. It's so now you have control of the company, right? You're not.
No, it's good and bad. Sometimes it's good to have some external pressure.
Well, and you for sure, and you can have. Do you have an advisory board? of any
No,
type?
no
You don't- oh, okay.
formalized. No,
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 nothing.
no.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
the thing that I love the most is just okay. So there's no formal board, but just I do peer-to-peer conversations, and there is a group of peers. Some of them are from e-commerce, some of them are from other industries, but tech industries, mainly startups, and some of them are way larger than we, which is always great. So kind of different people and have like routine meetings, and we just challenge each other a little bit. And then this is how I learn as well, and this is how I get inspirations for myself. Like, okay, come on, we did this, it worked for them. Okay, shall we try something like this as well? Or sometimes you have doubts. So this is kind of my unofficial board, and we never gathered together, but there was conversations, those meetings.
Well, and that kind of checks a lot of the boxes that a board does. I mean, there's some other things as far as like governance and other stuff, but like actual holding you accountable and challenging ideas and challenging strategies and stuff. So as long as that's getting done in some way, I think that's all that matters, right? Like
it works.
Yeah. So for anyone listening right now who is considering raising money to grow their business, do you have any advice for, I was going to say early stage founders, but at any stage with probably their e-commerce store? So our listeners are merchants. Any advice for them?
My advice would be, go as far as you can, or as far as you like, and without external funding. And exactly to what you said about Bald, that at some point you start getting investors knocking at your doors, and then you can raise more or less on your terms. Because while you are new, while you're just starting, and there's no still clear proof of product market fit, etc., you go and you raise on their terms.
Yeah,
and you basically spend so much time trying to convince someone that you are doing a good product, etc., etc. So if you can really go further on your own foot, like fund yourself from free apps, etc., that would really, really put you in a better position for two reasons. One is just because you can, if you would make a decision to fundraise, you will do it on way better terms. And the second thing, I still believe it really unleashes your creativity. The constant shortage, and I think you've kind of had the same feeling, especially in those initial years, 7 years when you bootstrapped. So the constant shortage of resources really helps you to think way more creatively, to act way more creatively. And, the fact that you raise 10 or 50 or 100 million, it's very, very tricky, because you feel, I never felt it, just my, theoretical way of thinking, or what I saw from friends and colleagues who raised, it kind of like makes a misperception that, okay, the resources are unlimited now. It's still very limited. And it is so easy to burn tens of millions so fast without even like putting the company to the next level. So I think it's kind of very, very, very tricky part here, and you have to be really ready to this. I mean, if it really fuels up and if you succeed, and then that's great. But there are a lot of situations when raising would be not the best what happened to you and your company.
Yeah. Here's another way to think about it. I heard someone say this once: if you want to do something innovative, restrict resources, restrict time, and restrict money.
Exactly.
If you have too much resources, too much time, and too much money, nothing innovative ever happens. Yes. But it always blows me away. In a couple of weeks, we do our hackathons. We call them Innovate or Die at Bold. So we give like everyone
nice.
It used to be 3 days. This one we're actually doing a full week, and we're doing
lock them down. Do you lock everyone down, or do you work days?
Well, we used to do it in the office, and people would bring like cots and air mattresses and stay overnight. And we had people going by with like drink carts full of like food and pizza and Red Bull. And not everyone stayed overnight, but a lot of people did. We never like forced anyone to, but they did it willingly because it was fun. And there's always the theme. This particular theme is our whole company is taking a week off to investigate AI. I mean, we're all familiar with AI, but it's how can it be built into our products? How can we use it in our processes? How can we use it in our roles? How can we leverage AI with partners, just like everything encompassing. And so the whole company is taking it. I mean, it's we always have a theme for these hackathons, but this one covers every single role. Like people on our HR team can be using AI for screening applicants and doing research on, applicants and whatever. So like, but it's always blows my mind. My point was, whenever we do these hackathons, it blows my mind what gets done in 3 or 4 days.
That's
you have
amazing, yeah.
Prior to that, we have large teams and we have stand-ups and meetings and review processes. And sometimes I look at something that got built and I'm like, oh man, that took like a month. That's crazy. But you do, and then when you have these hackathons, it's like you have less time, less resources. It's like, how can we do a minimal viable version of whatever we're building? We meet after and we go through every project. Well, they're presented at a town hall. Everyone presents what they built. And then after we meet and we go through and we say like, which ones do we want to ship or like put a team on and actually build out? And it blows my mind how many of them are like, wow, this is like 50% of the way there. It's basically done. It needs some, the UX and UI to be fixed up a little bit, but yeah, it's amazing. I think that point you said is really important, that it's really easy to think that money is going to solve that next stage of growth. I've so many times seen the exact same thing, and I couldn't agree more, that less time, less money, and less resources actually makes you be more creative and more innovative.
And to what you said, yeah, so you have those hackathons. We have days. So let's say we used to have, like last year, we had like usability days. Yeah, so kind of when all the engineers, all the product teams, they get for one day, just no other tasks, no like routine stuff, but you have to solve as many as possible usability improvement, UX tasks, etc. So, and they're kind of like, that's to what you say, they crazy, like just ship like, tens of.
I love that theme, usability. Yeah. So like anything that people using Omnisend, like
user interface improvements, sometimes very minor, some, bad animation, maybe more clear error definitions, which kind of no dead end states, basically kind of remove all the dead end states.
Totally.
Something is not happening, and just, all of us in our products, we have, unfortunately, it was kind of like an error occurred. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe not the main ones, but still there are some edge cases. Yeah, but, if all combine all of those edge cases, there are quite a lot of them, and yeah. So, and just like some very clear examples here, but so we used to have. Now we improved it and we shifted a little bit. So now we have AI days. And to what you say, we just have one single day, but you have to do something with AI. And it's all like organization related, like to the customers or to ourselves as well. Both works, and both are acceptable for this. So just to improve your work, to improve your routine, or to improve the customer's experience. Alongside what we are currently going through, we have like 6 weeks sprint. Half of our product organization, they have a lot of like just some constraints, but a lot of freedom in that box, and basically to ship AI features for customers. And we understand that potentially some of them, or maybe all of them, could need to be thrown away, but that's okay. That's what we accept.
There's learnings.
Exactly to what you say, just limiting resources. So, those are people, this is a time constraint, and, and then be creative. I mean, we remove all the other tasks from all the other headaches. Okay. Minimize. Sometimes it's impossible to remove everything for 6 weeks. You can do it for 1 day or maybe 5 days, but just limit or everything else, and just very clear constraints. Go create something.
Someone might be listening to this right now and thinking, "Wow, this doesn't apply to me. I run an e-commerce store. I'm not a tech company." But I would actually challenge everyone listening that this can apply to any company.
Exactly.
If you think about your Shopify store right now, if you just gave your team, and that team might be just you, that team might be 10 people, that team might be 20, whatever. But if you gave your team, hey, we're going to give everyone 2 days to improve, to, pick a project you want to work on. There's always these things hanging in the back of your head. It's like, we've been meaning to add a form on our website to collect testimonials, video testimonials to use as UGC content. And I just got to build out the page. I'm like, or some passion project like that. Take 2 days and call it user experience improvements, or pick a theme. I think that is super relevant for e-commerce merchants. Absolutely. It's not just for tech companies.
No. And what happened after we started having those usability days? So basically product and engineering teams attended those, but other departments, other teams started making their own days, and they only improved their way of work. So basically they took their, it's like HR, administration, marketing. They just take their process to what you said, and because all of us, like people, we get into routine and we get stuck in the routine, and sometimes you have to make a little decision that, okay, this is my conscious decision that next Friday, whatever happens, I will not, okay, maybe if there is some kind of super extraordinary fire, I will react. Otherwise, I will not do the routine stuff. I clean my calendar, and to what you say, just because all of us, all business owners, all marketers, all managers, we always have more ideas than time and resources to implement. If it's an opposite, maybe you should quit your job. I would say maybe find new challenges.
Yeah.
But if it's not, so the backlog in your mind is always there. So just make a pause, dedicate time, and make improvements. And thematic, it really helps. Just set the theme. It really helps. Not then you have 100 ideas. Sometimes it's very difficult to pick which one. But you think about the theme, you narrow down to 10 ideas, you challenge, I score, let's say, them or whatever other methodology to prioritize, pick one or two, can implement in 1 or 2 days. And, it compound if you make it as a habit once per month. In 12 months, then the change will be massive.
We used to do them once a year, and we saw so much value that we started doing them twice a year. Now we do them 3 times a year. And it's funny that some companies, like I talk to friends that they work at like bigger or corporations and stuff. They're like, I could never convince my company to take 3 days off to let everyone do whatever they want to do. That would be such a waste of time. And I'm like, well, no, we see it as the opposite. It's not a waste. Exactly. It's actually one of the most valuable times of the year. So I think it boils down to this. We're all out there chopping down trees with an axe, and we're chopping and we're chopping and we're chopping, and we're working so hard. And sometimes you got to take an hour and stop chopping and sharpen the axe.
Exactly.
And then you cut down trees twice as fast. And we all have to do that. And, maybe if there's one takeaway listeners get from this is you're chopping hard. You're working on your store. You're answering emails. You're packing boxes. You're answering phone calls. What can you do to take a day or two and sharpen the axe and improve some processes to speed things up? Maybe that's something with AI, like for customer support, for your marketing.
Especially with AI.
Yeah.
Especially with AI, I can bet there is so much space for improvements. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chopping, I have another analogy, which is exactly the same meaning, but, turning the squared wheel, basically. And it's very hard to turn the square wheel, but I have no time to stop and to make myself a circle wheel,
I love that analogy. That's great.
I'm super busy, but just don't have the right tool to work efficiently. And it's better to stop, to pause, to do that. Yeah. So completely agree with what you're saying.
And here's one tip I'll give people. So, everyone's at different levels of comfortableness with AI, and some people are using it already in every process they do. Some people are just using it for kind of edge cases here and there. When we told our company that we're going to have this week-long hackathon on AI, a number of people said, well, I already use ChatGPT. I ask it questions all the time. I don't know what am I going to do, right? And I said, well, ask AI. And so one person was one of our executive assistants, right? And she does use ChatGPT every day. And I said, well, type into ChatGPT, just say, I'm an executive assistant. This is the company I work for. This is my role. How could I leverage AI to better do my job, be more efficient? And it came out with a whole list of ideas of like, you can use AI to reprioritize calendars, to shuffle meetings based on priority rank, to create action items from meeting notes, assign it in Trello or whatever you use. Like, and then we looked at it like, holy cow, there's a lot. So for those listening, if you ask AI what you can use AI for, I know that sounds very meta, but literally go to ChatGPT and say, this is my store. This is my URL. This is what I sell. This is the market I'm in. These are the channels I'm selling in. I have ads on Instagram, Facebook. I sell through Amazon and Pinterest or whatever else. Like, this is what I'm doing. How could I leverage AI to improve some of these processes? And it'll give you back 7 to 10 great ideas. So you don't even have to, the beauty of AI is you don't even have to come up with the ideas. Let it do it all. And then take one of those ideas and then go back to it and say, this is a great idea. Can you give me a breakout of the tools I would use and the steps to take to implement this? And it'll create a plan for you. And so
on top of that, to what you just said, you can ask to analyze your competitors. What do they do right?
Yes.
And no doubts that they will, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever tool you use, Claude, it will come with ideas. Yeah, ideas. Okay. And you will see, maybe we don't do this, maybe we don't do that, etc. You should not take everything, but you can handpick. You use HI then to prioritize.
Yeah. Matt, we could go on AI. My mind is going in 100 different places right now. And I want to make sure we talk about email too, because I feel like we could definitely, even if people just listen and got that as a takeaway, I think that's huge. On the competitor front, we sometimes say, here's 5 competitors, analyze their website based on this type of marketing principle and create copy that counteracts and addresses their selling points to position us in a certain way. We want to be positioned as premium. We want to be positioned as cost effective. We want to be positioned as, and it comes up with that. Like, the sky's the limit.
And AI comes to email as well. So just like we launched maybe a couple of weeks ago, etc., like AI segment builder, which is really great. We have like subject line builder, we have pre-header, we have the copyright assistant widget within the email editor. Now we just launched, which is like a couple of weeks ago, maybe segment builder, which probably is kind of the most powerful what we currently have in the tool. And I love it because usually like marketers, they struggle a little bit with.
Tell me what a segment is for those listening.
For example, segment of those customers who have email and phone number and bought in the past 3 months. So, you kind of for many years you can build such segment, but it was, and or all the logic that marketers have to come with, etc. Now you just, write a prompt. You just write a prompt. Filter me those who have not bought in the past 6 months, but spend at least $100.
Oh, that's awesome. I actually haven't seen that. Is that live?
Yeah, it's live. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
I've created a lot of segments, but I have them all pre-saved, like customers who've purchased more than once or who haven't purchased in the last
you can create them in human language, just write a prompt, as I said, and it will come with the rules. Of course, as always with AI, you have to review it, challenge it. Sometimes it hallucinates. Yeah. But yeah, so this is, we did not communicate it very much yet. It's still beta, but it's live. Yeah. So you can go build it, try it, use it.
Awesome.
So, it's coming to email as well. And I have no doubts, good old school email will be valid, will be relevant, and will be very effective in the upcoming 5-10 years. But how we use email marketing, how we do email marketing, the way will change for sure, because we can get more and more assistance from AI. And this is how we think about like the AI direction with Omnisend in general, that, we can help as a creator, we can help as like strategist, come up with insights, recommendations, etc. But still the marketer is the boss.
Yeah.
He or she makes decisions. AI recommends, Omnisend AI recommends, but you as a marketer make the final decision. You can approve everything, you can edit something, can disagree and ask us to come with new suggestions or designs or copyright, etc. But this is kind of like, the vision that we are going towards.
I want to go back to something you said earlier when you were trying to raise money 11 years ago. People said, email, what? Isn't that solved? Email's dead. Everything now is on social media. It seems like now email is more relevant than ever. Every single day I'm seeing some influencer on social media or LinkedIn or wherever launching a newsletter. Everyone has a newsletter, right? Like that's the sexy thing to do now, is to have a newsletter and become that's part of your personal brand. Like
Absolutely.
I have a newsletter. I think, and
because this is how you own true relationship with customers. Otherwise it's not you who owns the relationship. It's
correct.
Social media platforms. It's Amazon. Yeah. So a lot of merchants sell both on their D2C stores as well as on Amazon or Walmart, etc. But this is the main difference. Once you have a relationship with customers, you can truly retain them. Otherwise, for platforms, you pay again and again to retain your customers. And it's very, basically, those platforms, they do not retain your customers. They reacquire them again and again. And acquisition is always way more expensive than retention. So that happens the same with like creators economy, with influencers. Just why email is so sexy, because this is how you start building true relationship with customers, and you're not dependent on algorithms. Because if like Instagram or Facebook, they change algorithms constantly, and one day you're able to reach your audience, another day they ask you to pay money for doing this.
Well, that happened.
What happened?
we all built our Facebook pages and got people to like our Facebook page, and then all of a sudden your posts were only showing to 1% of people who followed your page, and you had to pay to boost the posts to actually get them in front of audiences. And so the same thing could happen with any other platform right now. Like it feels like on TikTok and Instagram, like, or even YouTube, it feels like if you create a good viral post, you don't have to pay for it. The algorithm picks it up. But trust me, like that could very much happen, that organic reach gets throttled and only paid reach reaches a certain amount. So
True.
Email, SMS you own it. It's so important.
Exactly. Push notifications as well. We have those 3 channels. Push notifications are really underrated, and then they work really well. And then like the metrics we see, like those who use, the conversion rates are super high. Just the usage, the engagement is super high. Just the usage is very low. So that's probably kind of a thing. Like email is great. It will remain. But once you augment email with other channels like SMS, push notifications, we're considering maybe we had WhatsApp back in the days. We had the Messenger. We deprecated those channels. They were not effective enough back in the days. But now seems like WhatsApp is coming back more and more, and we started hearing requests from our merchants, from our customers, that they would like to have, especially kind of in some geographical areas, even kind of in the States, which is main market for us. It's becoming more and more popular, etc. So augmenting email with other channels really increases the efficiency of communications. But basically, kind of the main goal, the main target is to retain customers, to communicate with them, and again to bring your message in front of their eyes. So more channels you combine on single workflows, on single campaigns, on single automations, the more effective your communication is.
Yeah. When you look at brands today using email, SMS, push, what are some of the things that a lot of brands, even big brands, that you look at that they're getting wrong, that you still look at them and like simple fundamental things maybe, but what are some things that is commonly got wrong?
Yeah. So too few, I know the answer, too few automations. Because usually kind of even like established brands, they launch 2-3 automations. Those work really effectively. A bundled cart is the default, some post purchase maybe, etc. And that's it. And they basically set this part and they forget it. And they run campaigns. So campaigns are important. But like last year, we generate automated messages, emails, SMS, push notifications. They generated around 40% of revenue for our customers, of orders for our customers. And it contained only 2% of the traffic we send out.
Wow.
So the relevancy of those automated messages for your customers, for the shoppers, is just insane. So way fewer messages you are sending towards your customers, but they're way more relevant, and the click rates, engagement rates, conversion rates are like way high in comparison to campaigns.
So I want to get this clear for people. So a campaign is a one-off email
Yes.
blast that you send.
Correct.
You have a sale or a promotion, a spring sale, something. An automation is a series of emails
and it's
based off a
trigger
trigger based, but then it can be 10 emails that get automated, and then depending also on what's done, that go down different automation paths.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So thanks for clarifying. Maybe just to
no, that's fine. I know the term automations, but just in case someone listening.
to explain for everyone and where the distinction is. So automation workflow is basically, yes, automation it's like the trigger initiates. The campaign is being initiated by the marketer, by the person, and it's a blast. And the automated campaign, automated email, SMS is being initiated by the trigger, by the company. So basically, we identify that Jay put some products into the shopping cart, or just browse some products even prior to putting it into a cart, and we identify this, and that triggers the campaign. Okay, let's send the product reminder for Jay after 12 hours, 24 hours, 2 days, etc. If he reads, that's okay. Let's push, maybe make it more frequent. If he ignores, maybe let's send SMS. Let's send other products that are look-alike or maybe fits together. And if you are in search of, let's pick some random refrigerator, for example, maybe there's a wide variety of refrigerators that you could purchase. Yes, so we can recommend other products as well, etc. And there could be like one message, which I always recommend, put more messages on the same sequence, on the same workflow. Yeah, not a single reminder, but reminders, 3 reminders, 5 reminders. And there could be different workflows. So then getting back to your original question, like what is being underused. So usually merchants, they set up, okay, there's a abundant cart automation workflow, maybe there's welcome automation workflow, but there's so many of them. Let's say, for example, back in stock. You know, all of those who sell online, you sometimes have situations that you're out of stock. Leave those products on your web page, but instead of just, sold out message, put the widget. It's in case of Omnisend, let's say, it's all automated. We'll put the widget and the product that is sold out. We collect email addresses. We have a segment. Whenever the product is back in stock, which is named just basic as this, there's a trigger. We send emails immediately. And this is kind of like super efficient workflow because you basically invite those who showed that they're interested in this specific product. You invite them, come back and purchase because they have such a clear interest. Yeah. But other examples is like all the post-purchase communication, which it usually does not convert straight away, but it shows that you care about customers. So, or you can convert it like collecting UGC content, collecting reviews, are you happy? We just, shipped it. Did you receive a parcel? Was it good? Are you happy with the product? Are you happy with the delivery service? If something is wrong, ideally, it could be pushed to your support center. Call them. Oh, we saw that you're not satisfied with the product. So what went wrong? ENPS service, etc. So, those are really, really great opportunities to re-engage with your customers again and again. And so, those customers who do it well, they have 10 automations in place.
Wow.
Triggers.
And I just want to get that stat right. You said less than 2% of the emails sent through Omnisend are an automation. So like, the majority of people are using Omnisend. They're just sending a campaign, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Independence Day sale, whatever. They're just doing blasts.
Yes.
Only 2% of the emails sent are automation, but they make up 40% of the revenue generated.
Correct.
What is the math? That's 20x.
Correct.
20x revenue. I mean, if there's one takeaway for a listener is set up your freaking automations, because that's insane.
More.
Yeah. And not just one, like not just, I mean, I actually am thinking right now of some of the stores that I work with. We're guilty. We have an abandoned cart email that goes out, I think 2, but that's it. There isn't anything else. And we're not triggering we might be triggering SMS, but we're not triggering push. So I got to go back and tune these up a bit here. Cause that's
exactly, Jay. This is a home for you. Because you leave money on the table. All those automations. And abundant cart is the most popular. So all of those automations, they add extra revenue. And you just set up and forget, the same as with abundant cart, it generates revenue. So it's very important to to do that.
So then how does segmentation tie into that? So automation, I get that. Now segmentation, you can obviously send campaigns to different segments, and you can build automations with different messages based off segment as well too. Like I feel like that's a multiplier. So
sure.
You're doing automations and layering and segmentations. How do these work together?
So for example, let's say automation. You have the one you have abundant cart in mind there. So you can put the segment on top of it, and you can combine both of you. If the cart has been abandoned by the first time buyer, the offer is A. If cart is being abandoned by the repeated buyer, the offer is B. If the cart is being abandoned by the best buyer, who know that spends a lot with you already, maybe you can
that's awesome.
with the offer C. And maybe you can provide either a bigger discount or maybe no discount, because you are pretty sure the one will still purchase because you know that he or she is purchasing from you. And maybe for the first time buyer, you can come with a more aggressive, let's say, discount offer just to
Do you have any thoughts on that? Is there any data that you know off the top of your head? If it's someone who's never bought from you before who abandons, should you offer them a steeper discount than someone who has, or is there any data around that?
I mean, it doesn't sound like, good for your old customers, but usually that's what happens,
Right. It's a risk too, because they might use a different email address, and then they find out, hey, how come I'm not getting? Because a lot of people do try to game the abandoned cart email.
Yeah, of course. Right? But usually people, especially they don't game that much. And this is kind of to what you say, we keep hearing it from our customers. But maybe I want to be more on the safe side. What if someone games my system? But there are usually just very, very few people who try to do that, and let them game. I mean,
100%.
They feel so proud about themselves. Oh, I found a loophole. That's okay, but you still purchase from me.
Meanwhile, they're giving away 10% to everyone who signs up for their email, but they don't want to give a 10% for an abandoned cart email because they say, oh, someone might just be gaming the abandoned cart, like adding it to the cart and then waiting an hour. Give them the 10% because you're giving them the 10% discount just for signing up to your newsletter. You might as well, right? No, I agree 100%. People get too hung up on that. It's, yes, there will be a percentage. I don't know what it is. 10% of people might game it.
Depends on your margin.
Who cares? Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on your margin. It depends on what overall incentives. It could be just very straightforward, just discount. It could be like free shipping. It could be some additional values. And it depends on your business. Each of business has their own incentives policy. And, sometimes there are super slim margins businesses. So you cannot be too aggressive with straightforward discounts, but maybe you can have some add-ons or bundles.
Exactly. Rytis, I want to get into our quickfire round here because it's funny. I don't even think I got through half the questions I had for you, but that's okay. We talked about super valuable stuff, and I'm just going to have you back on at some point because I feel like there's a lot more that we can get into with email marketing, using SMS together, push. But I know we're close to time, and you're on the other side of the globe, and you've got a family and to get to. So I don't want to take too much of your time, but you're actually the first person we're doing this with. We've got 4 podcasts in the next 2 days, and we're starting this. We're asking everyone these quick fire questions, and it's going to be fun. We're going to then later turn them into videos where we have each person answering, and we'll use them with other stuff, but you're actually the first one. And so, you're the guinea pig. So you can't possibly screw up. And so,
perfect. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, Rytis, what is one book you'd recommend every e-commerce founder read?
Every founder in general. Hard Thing About Hard Things.
Oh, I love that. Ben Horowitz. Yeah, so good.
Ben Horowitz, so good. The best book about business ever.
Yeah. What's a recent automation flow you think every store should try?
Back in stock. The one we touched.
The one,
Super effective.
What is a sacred cow in e-commerce you think merchants need to rethink or challenge?
So I think it's just kind of to put more emphasis on retention. I still kind of feel that there is too much emphasis on acquiring
acquisition
again and again and again. And we just, we as a marketers, waste too much resources or just reacquiring sometimes customers instead of we would retain them. Yeah.
Agree 100%. It's interesting. I could talk about this. I agree with you. We see acquisition departments represent 80% of marketing budgets. and retention only represent 10 to 15%, but the effect on revenue is disproportionate to that. So it's a lot.
ROI is way, 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 way high on
retention. Yeah. What do you think separates a one-time buyer brands that just get people that buy one and done, versus brands that create lifelong ongoing customers? What separates them?
Quality. Just one word: quality. Quality of the products you sell, the service that surrounds the product, the experience, the quality of experience on your website, delivery, etc., etc. So I think that's the main distinction: quality.
I like that. What's one underrated Shopify app you think more merchants should be using?
Any of bold apps, I would say, probably. any of those.
Any bold. I love it.
I'm not sure they are truly underrated, but
there you go. Yeah,
using, for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you. The second last question: if a merchant had only 1 hour per week to work on their business, where should they spend it?
Fostering and learning how to use AI tools to help run their business more efficiently and basically, scale them up as persons.
That says a lot about you that you didn't say they should be working on email. You are an honest, caring person who's not self-promoting your product, but I would have thought you would have said they should be spending an hour on their email automations. But you know what? That is if you spent an hour a week working on AI, that would be good too.
I have no doubts AI would recommend you that you should do more of your email.
Because what's going to happen? They're going to go and they're going to ask AI what they should do, and it's going to say they should work on automations. So yeah. Last question. What's one e-commerce metric you think more brands should care about and obsess over, but they don't?
Funny enough, but I still think that lifetime value is not always the metric that marketers or even owners are obsessed about.
Yeah. Love it. All such great answers on all of them. Rytis, first of all, we're at the end of the show here, but I just want to tell listeners that we have an offer with Omnisend. So if anyone listening wants to try Omnisend, which I honestly can't recommend it enough. I'm not even using it, listen in this conversation here, I realize I'm probably only using it to 30% of its capacity, even less because I don't have all the automations. Well, I do have them set up, but not as much as I should. And it is, for a lot of the stores I run, the number one driver of revenue. And it's free revenue. We look at what we spend on Facebook and Google ads every month versus what we spend on Omnisend, and it's maybe 1/1000th the price. So it's so valuable. Rytis has put together an offer for anyone to get 30% off for 3 months, not just 1 month, for 3 months. And the link for that is in the show notes, or you can just go to Omnisend and you can use the code J30, JAY30. I highly recommend it. And Rytis, where do you like to send people to connect with you or to learn more about you and Omnisend?
So our website, omnisend.com, or you can ask ChatGPT or Gemini about Omnisend if you want to learn, but they will still finally direct you to our website. And personally myself, I mainly use LinkedIn. This is my primary social media channel. Yeah, so really invite us to connect there with Rytiss Lauris on LinkedIn.
Are you okay if I put your LinkedIn profile in the comments for people to connect? Okay, I will.
Thanks, Jay.
Rytis, thank you so much. This has been a ton of fun. I learned stuff. I know our listeners did too. I really appreciate the time.
Thanks for inviting.